right, we've got an 8 exercise warm-up series. Perfect, especially when you're doing any kind of lower body exercise focused day. All right, so the first thing we're going to start with is a breathing exercise called Crocodile Breathing. And the whole importance of this is really what he's trying to do is drive air into this lower part of his back. So you may not be able to see too much from the camera here, but he's taking a big breath in and expanding his diaphragm. So he's actually pushing the floor away with his belly. And then as he exhales, he's just allowing everything in that lower part of his back to relax. The better he does this, the more likely we are going to be able to expand our diaphragm when we're doing a squat or a deadlift or any lower body exercise that requires you to create that tension, that girder belt through your diaphragm. It's also getting him into a relaxed state, which is great if you're going into a workout early in the morning, you're straight out of bed, you're rushing and your body's stiff and it's tight, or right after work at the end of the day when you need to actually relax and transition from work mode into workout mode. So once you've got about 8 breaths here, his body's going to be feeling pretty good, back is going to be relaxed, and then we're actually going to flip on over onto one side. So now we want to start getting a rotational component that's going to allow your body to rotate. So he's in a side lying position, knees are down, and he's going to do a windmill. So this top arm is his main objective, to get as much rotation as possible. Now this may look like not much, but he's grinding right here. He's trying to keep that hand as low to the ground as possible, coming all the way around, back and meets the hand. I even like to go with a reach with his top arm that comes even further, so this shoulder blade reaches even more so, allowing that slide of the scapula, which so many of us miss from working on computers all day long. He's really driving nice and low, getting as much thoracic rotation and a lot through the hip. Go 5 on these, and you'll notice I was holding his knee down because it's really easy. You'll see here, he's gonna demo a wrong way to do it. You're gonna open up, and then it's really easy to compensate and be like, look how easy I can keep this arm down. But we're cheating now. We're not getting what we want from it. So really try and keep those knees down, hit 5 on each side. From here, we're gonna go laying on the back, and we're gonna now start loosening up these hamstrings. So both legs are gonna come straight on up here. Nice 90-degree angle that he's got, no bend in the knees. And I want you to just get as much out of that as you can. He's gonna do a leg lowering. So as one leg comes down, he's taking a big breath in, right? And then as he brings it back up, he's exhaling, and then he's bringing his ribs down, engaging that core. It's getting you ready by training your core nice and hard. He's just gonna alternate here. So nice big inhale in. He's working hard to keep these legs straight. Hard exhale, get all that air out. The breath is really important on there. So try and go between 6 to 8 on both sides. That really does allow your diaphragm to work well, your core to be ready to engage, and those hamstrings are gonna be so much looser than they originally were. Now from here, we're gonna flip back on over onto all 4s, and we're gonna start to loosen up the inside thighs with a quadruped adductor rockback. So quadruped position just means on all 4s. Shoulders are directly over the hands, hip is directly over the knees here, and he's got one leg perpendicular to his body straight out. Now with a nice flat back, head in line in position, so he's not gonna arch or bend at that back. He's just gonna bring his body back into the hips. So this hip is going deep into the socket, and that leg is staying with that foot flat, so he's really getting an inside thigh stretch. He's gonna bring his body straight back on up, and he's just gonna pulse back and forth, slowly, nice and controlled. I like to do an exhale as I'm coming back, gets my diaphragm out of the way, which allows me to get a little bit deeper into this move, but it really is focused on keeping that leg straight and getting that stretch of that adductor before then switching and hitting the other side. Take as many as you need here. Could be 5, could be 10. If you need to sit into it, that's absolutely fine as well, right? So now, everything is starting to get pretty loose. We're ready to come on up off the ground, and we're gonna do what's called a hip CAR. CAR is a C-A-R, controlled articular rotation. So with a hip CAR, our main objective is to get internal and external rotation out of the hip. So I like to have somebody even holding on to a pole or a base, because it's not about balance here. It's about creating that tension. So James is gonna lift his knee on up as high as he possibly can. So we're getting that end range of that hip flexor. He's shaking because he's actually working really hard here, which is what we want. And then he's gonna internally rotate this hip as much as he can. So notice that heel's coming out. And then he's gonna drive this foot all the way around, opening up that hip as much as he can. He's fighting his back from arching. He's going all the way around. And then when he comes back, it's gonna flip, and that foot is gonna come around and in so that it's driving the position. So the foot is always driving where that body's going. So he's gonna start by coming straight on up. He's gonna drive this heel out, stepping over like an imaginary box, all the way around so that hip is getting as much rotation. He's gonna come back up, and then that foot is gonna come all the way back around. And notice he's staying really tight, using the pole to not arch or compensate in any way, shape, or form. That hip is probably really feeling it because he did 2 and he did them right. 2 to 4, if you do them right, is more than enough to be able to rock on those ones, right? So now we're gonna loosen up those hamstrings to get that low back really friendly, definitely glutes ready with some Bootstrappers. So in his normal squat position, he's gonna reach straight on down with as straight a leg as possible, grabbing under the toes. He's gonna then pull himself. So he's actively pulling underneath his toes into a squat position. Chest is gonna come up at the top here, at the base here, so that his head is up. So he's deep into that position as possible, almost like a baby grabbing underneath. And then he's just extending his hips back and up to straighten those legs. His hamstrings are definitely getting primed here, feeling this, his glutes are warming up, and he's just gonna go down and up. 10 usually is a really good solid number for that before moving on. All right, so now we need to get some stability going on through individual legs. So we're gonna do a reverse lunge, but with specifically a postural out of reach. So take your little Charlie's Angels gun, get ready there. He's gonna step back into a reverse lunge. He's hovering off the ground, and he's gonna rotate across that stabilization leg that's on the front side. Come back to neutral here and step back on up, and he's gonna alternate each side. So now he's gonna step back opposite leg. He's got vertical shin, vertical torso. He's hovering that knee, getting as much rotation out of it as possible and going back, forth, back, forth. I like 4 to 5 on each side here. It's just great exercise to get you completely ready. Now to get heart rate up, finishing off some total body extensions, some TBXs. So he's gonna have his feet kind of close together, using his arms as momentum, swings on back, drives straight on up into triple extension, and arms whip him back on down. Now this is a fast, explosive move, so you are using those arms to whip you in both directions. Exhale on the up, inhale on the down. Go for about 30 seconds on those to really push yourself, 20 if you're just needing to stay on light, and this will be a great one. You're ready for that leg day.